Coming up in this week's show, we suggest a suitable vehicle for a growing family.
We evaluate whether a second-hand Ford Ranger double cab is a good used buy.
And we explore high-performance vehicles from Audi, suited for driving adventures.
Hello and welcome to Buyer's Guide. We'll be tackling a fresh batch of your vehicle-related questions and queries once again. And here to help us this week, Ajay Salukuzane from Westbank and Gift from Gifted Media. Welcome back, guys. Nice to have you back with us.
Thanks very much.
Thanks for joining us. Remember, if you like the panel's advice, you can send us an email to buyersguide@ignitiontv.co.za, or you can drop us a DM on Instagram @ignitiontv. And please give us as much information as possible, including a photo of yourself. Now we're going to kick off things with a question from a first-time buyer, Musa. He's 27 years old and he lives with his wife and 2 children, with another baby on the way. He has a monthly budget of 3,000 Rand excluding insurance. He's considering a used Polo Vivo sedan with under 100,000 kilometers on it. He is confident that with good maintenance, such vehicles can serve his family well for an extended period. Is this a good buy, he wants to know? And he is open to exploring other sedan options. Now, let's just start off with that 3,000 Rand a month. Approximately, what does that buy you in terms of lump sum value?
150,000.
So 150,000.
Yeah, that's what Musa should look at.
Okay, so 150,000 Rand gift. He's going to find himself a Polo Vivo and sedan in that price?
Yes, definitely, but he might even find one that is around that mileage or even less.
Yeah.
Because if with a budget of 100K, you can definitely find a Polo Vivo sedan.
Yeah.
Obviously, considering having to check whether this car was used as a e-hailing
Yeah.
vehicle, you can check if the vehicle has not been stolen before, the mileage has not been tampered with, as discussed in the previous. But I think this is a good option for him to start with. So if he's definitely going to look at other sedans to look at with a family of 4 now, because there's one on the way. This car has got ample boot space, and also this is one vehicle that you definitely can drive it for life.
The Vivo is most probably the best Volkswagen product out there.
100%.
In terms of reliability.
Sedan, yeah.
It's maybe not the most exciting. It's just a jelly mold car. But it's a good car. It's great mechanicals. Most people, if you even just a little bit of a do-it-yourselfer, you can repair those vehicles. There's no technical things to it. Great little vehicles. As I say, most probably Volkswagen's best little car they can buy.
Yeah.
Anything else that you would suggest in there?
With the same budget, I will probably the same around maybe VW still, but looking at, you can also maybe look at the Jettas and check ones that don't have history of failing turbos or failing.
Don't buy a complicated turbocharged engine. That's what I would say in this budget.
Sure.
Because if you've got it's a small budget, 3,000 Rand a month. You don't want to have big,
And you got another kid on the way.
Yeah.
You don't want to have
a
mechanical
car.
failure.
You don't want to have a car.
Yeah.
Gee, is there something else maybe that you could suggest in there?
I would also think of security for the family as well. You know how VWs are today.
In terms
you
of
know,
high risk
yes, high risk.
Theft, yeah.
I would also suggest or recommend a Honda Amaze as well,
Yes.
because it's kind
Very
of
good
comfortable, and I think it will serve the purpose.
So there's a couple of others that I had a look at
Me
as well.
too.
Maybe good. So Honda Amaze is one that you
Honda
mentioned.
Jazz.
Well, the Honda Jazz may be a little bit small. So the Amaze is basically a Jazz with a
Jazz.
boot. So we've got kids, you've got a bit more space. You've got the Suzuki Desire, the Suzuki
Yes.
Swift Desire.
Yeah.
And then you've got the Kia Rio sedan as well. And then there's that other Kia, what did they call it? Pega.
Rega.
Pegasus.
Yeah.
Pegasus. I don't know.
Pegasus.
Pegasus, whatever it
Vegas,
is.
yeah.
Those are a couple of cars which most probably would suggest look at instead of the Polo Vivo, purely because of the theft factor. Because your Honda Amaze, your Suzuki Desire, the Kia Rio sedan have a much less theft risk. So he's most probably going to save on his insurance, because he said he's 3,000 Rand a month he wants to pay, excluding his insurance.
Yeah.
So now, certainly before you buy any of those vehicles, I'd phone up an insurance company and say, I've got these 4 cars, I want you to give me a price to insure them. A Vivo, a Kia Rio, a Honda,
Pegasus.
whatever it is. And see, because you may find that because the Polo is a high-risk car, the premium a month may be 1,000 Rand and the others are 500 bucks a month. You can maybe then put another 500 Rand onto your finance and maybe get you something yourself just a little bit better.
I'd like to know which insurance company you talking to for 1,000 Rand a month.
Well,
on Vivo.
I'm just...
Which insurance company you talking to?
I don't know. But
Hey,
I'm just-
dude.
I don't know insurance. I'm just saying, phone around, using that as an example.
Yeah.
Maybe it's 5 grand, and you realize you can't afford that car, you have to go buy something else.
Our next viewer is Mvelo, who is in search of a second-hand family hatchback or small SUV. He requires a sturdy vehicle that is economical to maintain and fuel efficient. With a budget of 250,000 Rand, he's considering several options: the Opel Astra 1.4T, Volvo V40 D3, Audi A3, Renault Megane or Renault Duster. The car will primarily be used for commuting to work. On weekends, he anticipates traveling approximately 800 kilometers between KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng. Okay. Gift?
Yes.
What would you put him in?
I see the Renault Duster here comes as a favorite for on my end, because I'm thinking also a hatch, because they said hatchback or small SUV. Also looking at probably maybe besides these ones, you can also look at the Toyota Urban Cruiser or the Vitara Brezza. The price range will
And the Duster, the 1.5 DCI, I found is an
correct.
absolutely great vehicle.
Perfect.
I know the Renault takes a lot of flack, especially from me, but the Duster with that engine is a fine vehicle if that's what you
Until it breaks, then you're going to hate it.
hate. Yeah, then you're going to pay a lot of money.
What would you buy?
I would also recommend the Renault Duster as well. It's economical. It's been proven that even if you do off-road, it still caters for your needs.
Yes.
But definitely, the 4x2 option will actually work for you.
It's so interesting because, you know, we've got 4 people here and we all have like sort of different opinions of things, because I wouldn't go for any of those vehicles because I know the Duster's great and it's a spacious vehicle and it's fairly good value in that. But if you do have a problem mechanically, if you need a turbocharger, which is going to fail, you know,
If
and
you
you
need
can't
injectors.
neglect the maintenance. If you need to have diesel injectors replaced because somewhere you went and put fuel in and you got bad fuel, that can set you back 20, 30,000 Rand.
Easy.
So I would say none of these premium cars certainly don't buy. The turbocharged cars, try and stay away from. You're doing lots of mileage. So you don't really need a car to drive at 200 k's an hour. You need something that's going to get you there efficiently and light on fuel. So what I would suggest is you try and get a hatchback and look for something like the Toyota Starlet or the Suzuki Baleno, both the same sort of car. You're going to get a lot of car there. In your budget, you're going to get something most probably still under warranty, still have a service plan, and super efficient on fuel. So if you drove, like he says, every weekend he's going to KZN and back.
Yeah.
So if you go to KZN and back, you want something that's very, very, very light on fuel. And those Toyota Starlets and the Suzuki Brezzas are running at like 5 liters to 100.
Yes.
You know,
And you don't want turbocharged vehicles.
You don't want, because one turbocharged failure,
20 grand.
even if the car is fuel efficient, you know, you spent all that money you would have saved on fuel. So buy something that's not turbocharged, just naturally aspirated, because they'll drive along at the legal limit on the highway. You won't get speeding fines, and you'll have a car that will last for many years, be ultra fuel efficient, and give you very few problems. Because when you get turbocharged, it's not only the turbocharger, it's all the other technical things that go with that as well that can create problems. Okay, so that's my advice. You've got their advice. You make the decision. Okay, stay tuned, because after the break we evaluate whether a second-hand Ford Ranger double cab is a good used buy.
And 7-seater passenger vehicles from Kia and Hyundai go head-to-head. You're watching Buyer's Guide, and if you've just joined us, welcome to this week's show. Lazarus, a 40-year-old man with a family of 5, is considering purchasing a second-hand Ford Ranger double cab. He plans to use it for transporting his family and carrying up material to complete building a home for his family. He's fond of Ford Rangers but cannot afford a new one. Is buying a reliable second-hand Ford Ranger double cab within a budget of 5,000 Rand per month viable? Let me ask you guys something. Have you heard of a good second-hand Ford Ranger?
Lots of them, but I think more importantly is 5,000 Rand budget.
Yeah.
G, tell us again, 5,000 Rand gets you approximately how much?
In a lump sum.
Honestly, with this budget, this customer is not going to get anywhere with the Ford that he's actually looking for. For one reason, if you actually look at that 5,000 one, you can actually buy a car for 250,000.
250. So it's difficult to find
Yeah.
a vehicle that will be financeable. You can maybe find a 250,000 Rand Ford Ranger.
Yeah.
But
maybe
are
too old.
the banks going to finance it because it's going to be too old?
going to be too old.
Yeah, and it's
Rather-
a double cab.
Yeah. Rather for this customer to actually look for a brand new bakkie like the JAC, it gives you the same level of comfort in terms of his needs as well.
But
I
he's
would,
not going to buy one for 250,000 rand. That's the problem.
yeah.
You know, this is a difficult thing. So you will see Rangers and Hiluxes and Navaras and all these kinds of things for 250,000 rand, but they'll all be well over 200,000 kilometers.
100%.
And again, now it's difficult to find them,
Maintenance.
to find a good one. So you're stuck in a finance package for 5 years at 5,000 rand, and every couple of months you're spending 5,000-6,000 rand in it. So it's a difficult one to find the right vehicle for that.
Ford is like they say, fix or repair daily, but
Any vehicle
definitely not going to get a vehicle in that budget.
No, you won't.
And once again, like Adam always says, it's not me, guys. It's not me. Beer budget, champagne taste.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the problem. Because it's difficult to find something in this. Maybe you get lucky and you find a really base double cab that's done fairly low mileage in this sort of bracket.
Unicorn
It's
car.
so hard.
Yeah.
So hard to find because people, especially with bakkies,
Yeah.
people don't move their bakkies on. They keep them because they're workhorses. So they keep it. They pay the finance off, and then do I get rid of it? No, I'll just keep it because I need it to move the rubbish,
Yeah.
build my house, do whatever.
Yeah. And Lazarus here also is looking
Yeah,
at
that's what
completing
Lazarus is
his
looking
house.
to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can't even say maybe look at another option of an SUV because he's also a family guy because
Yeah.
he still wants a bit of space at the back. Maybe
What I would suggest to do is you've got to look at a donkey. That's what you've got to look at. Not the animal, but you've got to look at an old, like an NP300.
sure.
They came out in the double cabs. They're very basic, very simple. You get a 2.5 turbo diesel. They're actually very reliable vehicles. You'll find one of those in the sort of budget, but you're not going to get a Ranger. You're not going to get a Hilux. You're going to get something with maybe no
It's a
aircon.
family of 5, Adam.
Yeah.
Family
He
of
wants to
5.
drive with them.
Yeah.
So that car's got 0 rating for safety. So I don't know if you're going to.
Well, I mean, that's a good point. I mean, it is a
Yeah.
good point. In terms of an MP300, it wasn't a great safety-rated vehicle. So it's difficult to actually try and suggest something.
Yeah.
You've got to look around and see if you can find something. I
Or-
think you're going to struggle like mad to
Or
find.
Lazarus should just ask his family. Adam always advises. Ask in and amongst your family members. Hey guys, I'm looking for this. This is what I'm looking for. Does anyone have any contacts? Or do you know of anyone wanting to get rid of a bakkie?
Sure.
The other option would be, I don't know how much you've got to move, but if you're only going to use the odd bits and pieces to move up to your house, is to go and buy yourself an SUV. 250,000 rand, you can get yourself a decent SUV. It'll be newer, less mileage, and a trailer. You buy yourself a second-hand trailer, the tow bar, so when you need to pull up stuff to do
Yeah.
your building,
Yeah.
you've got the trailer. You buy a trailer for, 10 grand. And you buy an SUV that works for you 90% of the time, and when you need to have something delivered to your house or whatever, or you've got to go pick it up, use the trailer and tow it with the SUV. So that is the only other option I can think of
Yeah,
here.
100%. I
Yeah.
totally agree there. As you're speaking now, one of the SUVs that come to mind was the Nissan Qashqai. I once had an incident where I needed to pull stuff for a good month, and it was perfect. I just needed to invest a little bit more into my reversing skills there.
Yeah.
But I think it's a great advice.
And once you finish building the house, you sell the trailer and get your money back. And you still got your car.
Hire it out.
Hire it out.
There we
Start
go.
a business.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
I'm full of great ideas. Okay, moving on. Dolamo, age 72, seeks advice on purchasing a used SUV with a keen interest on the Kia Sorento and Hyundai Santa Fe. It's got a budget between 300 and 350,000 rand and prefers not to consider vehicles like the Toyota Fortunator or the Ford Everest. The vehicle should be comfortable to accommodate passengers and luggage. However, he is concerned about the rarity of the Sorento and the Santa Fe. Oh, there's lots of them around.
Delamo has got to be one of the most intelligent 72-year-olds I've ever seen.
He obviously said he likes their car. Gee, what do you think?
I think for this one, Delamo can actually get himself into the Kia. However, he just needs to make sure that he gets at least with his budget as well, because the budget is a bit constrained. I understand that he doesn't drive most of the time, so there will be challenges with the battery because it might be stagnant in one place for quite some time, then he's got battery issues. But I think he can look around a 2018 model, 2019 model, with a mileage of 95,000 kilometers.
Yeah.
I think you'll be sorted.
And now the Santa Fe, and which is the Hyundai or the Kia Sorento, is the same car. It's just different badging. Gift, good cars, aren't they?
They are good cars. I didn't know that, but now that you mention it, because both of them are good cars.
Yeah, one comes out the back door, one comes
out the front door. Yes.
Well,
So
better not
and,
say
then
that
they, and then they switch.
Okay.
One comes on the left side, one comes on the right.
Now they're both, if he can get any of those cars financed, like G says, then
Yeah.
I guess when any of
5,
those
6-year-old
cars
car, well.
100%, yeah.
Yeah, they're great cars, very spacious, and in that budget you will definitely find something.
And the one thing he doesn't have to worry about, Adam, is hijack risk.
Yes.
very low risk.
Okay, let's put it this way.
Theft.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Don't you think that?
said
Don't
they're
you think
good.
the time has passed? They're looking at other cars now.
Yeah.
If they
No,
didn't
they-
look at it then,
And I agree with Siggy. I mean, there are great cars. There's not a lot of them around, because that kind of a car, it's a bit like sedans nowadays. Not a lot of people buy them, and it's a very niche market to have a 7, 8-seater. But a great option to look at. Good car, reliable, great backup from both Kia or Hyundai. It's just a matter of looking around to see which one you can find that suits you. It's in the best condition. It doesn't matter which one you buy, Kia or the
Or
Hyundai.
Santa Fe, yeah.
Mechanically, it's the same thing. It's just interior trim and exterior trim. Otherwise, they're the same car.
Okay, we'll be taking a short break, but when we return, we explore high-performance vehicles from Audi for driving adventures.
And also, how harmful is it to overfill your engine with oil? Welcome back to Buyer's Guide. Up next, we have a question from Umpa, who is considering purchasing a vehicle within his budget of 1.3 million rand. He's considering the following options: a 2022 Audi RS3 sedan, an Audi S5 coupe, or the 21 Audi RS5 Sportback. His intention is to use the car on weekends for outings and vacations. Yeah, we know what you want to use it for.
okay.
Which vehicle would be the most enjoyable to drive? Gift, you look like a bit of a boy racer.
1.3 million. Phew.
Yeah, it's nothing for a car now.
Yes. Yeah, no,
Peanuts.
but that's beautiful for a performance vehicle like that, especially not looking at buying it brand new.
Yeah.
They're spoiled with choices there. However, I'll still say the RS3, personally, I think it's a little bit small. And for someone who's mentioned that they want to do vacations, the RS5 Sportsback sounds like a great deal.
Yeah.
If he's it also mentions, it sounds like someone who's an Audi fan.
Yeah, that's why I wouldn't
Yeah.
recommend anything else.
Yeah, I would have easily said a 340i, but in this case, I don't see why don't you do for an RS5, because of ample space. They've got beautiful looks. They've got nice LED lights back and front, sunroof, panorama. It's just beautiful car. So I think I'll vote for the RS5 instead of the RS3.
You like the Audis, G?
Definitely, I also like that
Fancy
one.
car, eh?
Fancy
Very
car.
fancy.
Man
Yeah.
rocked up at your house with a nice RS5.
I'll
Front
get
door open, come inside.
without hesitation.
Without him.
I love the honesty.
Whoa,
Gee, you're gonna get all of us fired, hey? Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
Where were we talking? Okay,
We lost
RS5, yeah.
all of them are good.
Yeah.
I think in terms of any of those premium German brands that manufacture the RS or the M or the AMGs, they're all, those are really great cars. So I would suggest to go and drive them all and find one that suits you. I agree with Gift. The RS3, although it's a great car, maybe
Small.
a little bit small. But maybe that's what you want. Maybe you want a compact one. But if you want something a little bit bigger that you can, take a couple of mates around and give them a thrill, because we know we're not going for a gentle drive down to the coast, are you? No.
I must tell you guys, though, I don't know if it'll fit in his budget, but for me, the RS6
Yeah.
Yeah.
Avant.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Bernardo
Now,
Gray.
if a lady rocked up to my house with that, cheers family, I'm out of here.
What is this new paint? Nardo grey. Is it? You know what it is?
Somebody
It's the
forgot
cheapest.
to
They
paint.
forgot to paint,
Paint the
damn
car,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Grey.
Forgot to paint the car.
I mean, making cars is art, so
Yeah, it makes it look nice. All right, moving on.
And finally, Christopher is the proud owner of a 2016 Fiesta, which he services himself. After adding oil, he notices that the dipstick shows a slight overfill. He wonders if this could potentially harm his engine.
This goes to prove: don't service your car if you don't know what you're doing.
Yes. Bring it to us.
Taking business from us.
Anyway,
it-
yeah, Adam, a little bit over the mark is not serious.
So what's a little bit?
Little bit,
1
not-
millimeter or like?
No, not that. Like even a millimeter sometimes is too much. If it's a little bit over, I would always suggest let's drain some out.
Yeah.
Always. If it's a little bit over, always drain it out. It'd rather be a little bit less than a little bit over.
Yeah.
Because if it's a little bit over, and let's say you put more than a little bit, whole of complications.
Yeah.
You can damage the seals in the car, you can damage the engine.
You can destroy the engine. So best thing is Saturday morning, after you've parked it overnight, get underneath there, just take the sun plug out when it's cold, just remove it, and then stick it back in. And then get all that oil all over your arms and everywhere, down your sleeve,
I don't know how it
everywhere.
doesn't
There we go. You know, that kind of a thing. And then just get it to the correct level. You know, if it's a millimeter over or 2 millimeters over the maximum, that's not serious. But anything more than that, get it to the right level. Otherwise, you could be in for an expensive,
very expensive repair.
And unfortunately, just like that, we've come to an end of another episode. G and Giv, thanks for joining us, and
thanks for having us.
All your great information, and hopefully the guy with the nice Audi arrives at your door.
Here we go. Here we go. Until next time, remember to keep left, path right, and please keep it safe on the roads.